If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Hi guys, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share a card that I created. But first let me share with you what I used to create. I think this die was gifted to me by, this stamp was gifted to me by my friend Jackie, and it is a Bo Bunny die. I keep saying die, a Bo Bunny stamp. And what I used out of this, I wanted a little bird. So I used this little bird, but then I saw this wreath and I used this wreath. And I really liked the way it came out. I didn't use the bees, but I like those bees there. And then I used the Anna Griffin, not Anna Griffin. What's wrong with me today? I used the Heartfelt Creations Swirl Lattice Gate die or Gateway die, something like that. And then out of this stamp set, I used this little sentiment down here to cheer you while you heal. And I really like that. I bought this a while back and I just hadn't had a chance to use it. Then I also used this fern die by Carnation Crafts. You guys know that I am a big fan of Carnation Crafts and have been since I discovered them. So I used the fern because it has silhouettes, mats and layers, and then it has the detail cut, and then it has layering pieces for decoupaging. So I used the fern, and what I've been playing with is the Susan Tierney Coburn's Spellbinders Tea Rose and Teapot die. And I really like this. It was kind of pricey, but it's a big die set. So it was around 30 bucks plus shipping, but it is, you know, the full, you get the flower and you get the teapot and everything. So I really like that. I love anything having to do with tea or coffee, teapots, anything like that. So let me share the card that I created. This is the card that I created to go. I'm sending out a box of flowers to a friend who is not on YouTube, but she does watch. She doesn't have a channel, but she does watch my videos and she always comments, you know. So I wanted to send her some of my poinsettias, but I also wanted to send her a card, and it's not really Christmas yet. So I created this card. Here is that teapot, and I did add glossy accents to the teapot, but I don't do very well when it comes to glossy accents, especially a bigger piece like this. So I did the best that I could. I still like it, but I wish I had just left it alone. But here's that wreath, and you can see there's two colors in it. And the reason there's two colors is because I stamped it once with a lighter color, and then I inked up my stamp again with a darker color and just kind of dabbed in different areas of the stamp and restamped it again. So that gave me like a two-tone wreath. And then I added some little beady diamond dots in the green, in this green, iridescent green, lime, citrus, and gold. So that's what I did there. And then I used my ink pen to add gold to the handle, the lid, the base of the teapot, and then the spout over here. Anytime you buy a really nice tea set or collection, the high-end ones usually either will have silver on the edges or it'll have gold. So I use gold on this one because this die cut was gifted to me by my friend Jackie. So I wanted to use it, and it does have, it's not really gold, but it might be. It's like a pearl gold or yellow with some gold hint to it. I'm not sure what color it is, to be quite honest. But anyway, here are the ferns that I cut out from my Carnation Craft. Here, these blue flowers back here are also Carnation Craft. I don't own that die, so I didn't take it out, but their colorways or vignettes come in different colors. So my friend Jackie had gifted me a bunch of die cuts, and one of them was the flowers she did in blue. So I was able to incorporate it into my arrangement because my teapot was blue. The teapot, I cut it out in white heavyweight 120-pound cardstock. And then I just took a blending brush and blended the color that I wanted on there. So, but before I did any of the blending, I first did my little wreath and I did the little bird. So here are the flowers I created with the Spellbinder Susan Tierney Colburn's Tea Rose. Look at how pretty that looks. And I did add diamond dust. So let me bring it up closer. I hope the lighting is good, guys. Look at how pretty that is. And after I had created this, let me open it up. So then on the inside, I wanted to bring the blue from the teapot into the inside. So I added another die cut in blue. And then here is that sentiment. Really, the sentiment to cheer you while you heal. And it looks, it's kind of hard to make it look straight because the font is not, it's like somebody hand wrote a note. So it's, you know, when I write, I don't follow lines. I make my own lines. So that's the way this is, you know, it's not really completely straight, but I loved this. And I did stamp it in like a navy blue. But after I had created this one, hopefully I can speak now. After I had created that one, I thought, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put it on a rectangle base or not. And then I decided not to. I decided not to make it an easel because I didn't want it to take up room in the recipient, whether they have a craft room or just a certain spot where they craft. So I decided to just leave it like this. But I did create another base. And this one I did in silver because I think silver and blue look really good together. And so do yellow and blue. So here is the same concept. But in this one, I did a white card base, 120-pound card base. It's very nice, this paper. If I can find it, I will link it. I get it on Amazon and it's a huge pack. And then I layered a silver mat, and then I did a blue one and I embossed the blue one. And then I did the gateway one in a white, and then I did it in silver. But I did this in a way that if you wanted to, I haven't stamped anything in it, so it's still blank. I'm not even sure what I'm going to put in here yet. But I left it this way so I could stamp a sentiment in here, and maybe in vellum or whatever I wanted to do. And but I also wanted to have an area where you could write your personal note. So that's what I did here. I actually left it where you can open it up and write your personal note here, close it up, and nobody has to see what you wrote for that person. The way I did this, I added, I don't know if you can see it, but right in between there, I added some white ribbon to hold it because I didn't want to glue it together. The only thing I wish is that I had added another little piece down here. So if you have this die and you're going to recreate something like this, I would also add a little piece of lace here too as a hinge. That way when you open it up, it stays more, it's not going to fall or anything, but that would just keep it a little bit more straight. So that's what I did here. And again, I haven't stamped anything or anything because I wasn't sure who this was going to. And I had the perfect color of organza ribbon. So that's what I did there. And the way I camouflage that is, of course, this one you can tell I taped it to the back of the card before I adhered it to this. On this one, I had to adhere it to the front. And then I had to cut another one so I could layer it on top. Because if I didn't, when I added this detail one, you would be able to see the ribbon. So this has two and that has one. But I love the way this came out. Now just imagine this on top of this and look at how beautiful that looks. Like that's really pretty just on top of that. So I think I kind of like it better with the base, but this one I already, like I said, completed it. So I'm going to send it as is, but maybe my next one I will put it on this base. So I didn't do anything. I still need to finish that. Another card that I was working on is a like a fall or an autumn. It could be Thanksgiving or just a fall you know, sending somebody a card. You know, we get so excited when the seasons start to change and we know that the holidays are coming. That's my favorite time of the year, guys. It seems like more peaceful to me. So one of the dies I was playing with is from Carnation Crafts, and this beautiful, what is it called? Equinox. Yeah. Well, no, it's called Eminence die, but it's from the Equinox collection. And this is last year's fall or autumn release. And it had this beautiful vase, and it's got others. It's got pumpkins and stuff, but this is the only one I own. But here it is already cut out. You guys know that I have those clear drawers, and I sometimes cut out things in advance, and then I just stick them in there. And when I need, or when I'm going to create a card, I'll go there and look for flowers, or I'll go there and look for embellishments. So this is one of the things that I already had pre-cut. It does sparkle in the center because I dotted it with some yellow iridescent diamond dots. So that I used that one, but I had a couple of them cut out. And then I used the little lantern die that Nicole Silhouette just came out with not long ago. I think Tony Craft Purge shared this. And I love lanterns. Anybody that knows me knows that I love lanterns. And I like that this is a shaker one. And then it's got the layering pieces as well. So I use this. And then to emboss it, because I did want to put embossing on there, I had this little Gemini embossing folder. And it's just a, what do you call this? My gosh, I can't remember. I know what it is. Ivy. And just an ivy leaf. So I use that to emboss. So I did use other things for this, but let me share. One of the other things that I use for this one, I hope I don't lose anything. One of the other things that I use for this, let me set it down because I didn't put anything away, guys. I'm always guilty of that. Was this elongated frame, and this is a pretty long card frame, but it is beautiful. So you get all the mats and layers to them. So you get 3 of the like, you get your base, then you get your next mat, and then your next mat. So I love that you get all the mats and layers, not just for the intricate frame, but also the center one as well. Like you get the ovals and everything. Let me put it over here before I use something. I have to fix it and put it away. So I use that one, and I think that's it. So I'm going to share with you the card that I created. Look at this card, guys. Let me lift you up a little bit. I know you're going to be able to see my junk, but I want y'all to see the card. So here is my card. And it is a easel card. So here is the beautiful frame with the different layers. The paper that I used here, this tan one, is anytime they come out with a collection, they come out with papers for it. So this is the perfect papers for them, and these are 300 GSM, so they're really strong, really heavyweight. And then they give you a free backing paper download that you can download. So this is part of their new the Colors of Autumn release that they just released today. I didn't buy any of the dies yet. This is the only fall stuff that I have from them. But it's this peachy color, and it's very, very pretty. And then I cut the intricate frame out of a pearl, my favorite pearl color paper. And here is the, whoops. There is the little lantern. The lantern is what stops it from falling. And then I have this little, let me bring you down a little bit. Then I have this little tag right here, and I did stamp. I just had that stamped. For that, I used a couple of stamps. I used this one that I picked up on Ali last year, I believe. So this is this one right here. It says, Golden leaves, chilly air, autumn beauty everywhere. And then the word autumn came from this die set, right? It's stamp set, and it does have the coordinating die to it. And this is by Stamp Simply. So those are the two stamp sets that I used here. And what I did was I stamped the word autumn on this designer paper, the free backing paper that they give you for their collection. And then I cut it out again in copper because I was using copper, and just offset it so you can see the copper in there. And as you can see on even the lantern, there you can see the embossing on the lantern. And to kind of tone that down a little bit, I just got some black acrylic paint and rubbed it on there, and then just rubbed it off before it dried. That's all I did. I didn't let it dry, but I rubbed it on there so it would get into all the little crevices, and it kind of toned it down some, which that's what I wanted. This is a shaker, so I got my little maple leaves in there. And boy, let me tell you, this gave me trouble because I used a what do you call it, a very stiff piece of acetate for the shaker window, and it gave me a lot of trouble. Normally I don't do them that way, but this one I did, and let me tell you, I paid for it. So for this easel card, let me turn this down. Normally when we do an easel card, you can see the paper where it's glued down. What I did with this one, I cut a slit into my layering piece before I glued it down, and I glued my my little stand for my lantern underneath that paper before I even glued it down. That way, when I glued the paper down, my stand was already in place. All I had to do was add my lantern to the front. And so, therefore, it is like very, very clean. See, it's very clean. And I love, love, love the way it came out. And then for the flowers, and that easel that holds the lantern holds the back piece in place. So that's how that works. Now, I didn't need an easel for the lantern because it was, you know, my lantern's pretty thick. But just for added, you know, protection, or just for added security, I did add this little sentiment here because I did want it to say something about fall or autumn. And that way this kind of stops the lantern from falling flat. And then for the rest of the flowers here, I just took I printed out another one of these, and I just kind of snipped it apart and added it to the front of the lantern right here. And then I added a piece down here, another one here. I just kind of spread it around. And I love, I just took one apart. So I love the way it looks. So to close this up, I would have to pick up the back. And then I would just pick up the lantern and close it down. So this is pretty thick though, guys. You have room back there for a sentiment. And then when you close it, here is the front of my card. Look at how pretty that is. I think it's really, really pretty. I really love it. Again, back here, this is the free paper that they give you. But because it gives you mats and layers for everything, I was able to add a layer in the copper and then the smaller oval in the designer paper that they give you. And I love the way it looks. Here's another piece of that one that I took apart to add to my lantern. And then this is just a sticker on the front, because I don't have any pumpkins or anything from them. But that is what I have been working on. I hope everyone is having a great day. And I will link whatever I can find in the description box below. Just click on more, and that opens up a bigger box, and then you'll see all the links to some of the products that I use. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and God bless. Bye.